Okay, there we go. Now let me go live.
And let me check it for live.
Give me 1 second. I have to copy the topic. And
I can save
how are you guys? Come again?
I can save you all a bunch of trouble. I know exactly how to turn them into repeat customers. You steal their wallet and put them on auto pay.
That's a good one.
That works.
Well, talking about the auto pay, is that legal that let's say when the customer book and then they make a deposit and then um like let's say 3 days later we auto charge them like an auto pay?
You can do it if you have consent.
Yes,
What if we put that into the contract? Will that legal?
Mm.
fully.
You need to
They're
talk
like,
to
Okay. Did you know if IO have like an option like okay, when you know how when they sign it they choose to pay either through their card or cash or those the payment thing,
Mm-hmm.
and then can we make an option for them to click like okay, yeah, I choose to do auto pay, or we make it default into auto pay but then they have an option to opt out?
I'm not sure about that. Does anyone knows about this, guys?
I would be careful with that because I could see that backfiring really easy. People get really touchy over their money.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, okay. If they don't want to do it, they can opt out. But then let's say they forget to opt it out, and then we can always refund it. And then
Yeah,
they
but what
have.
I'm saying is if you took mine out because I forgot or didn't see it, I'd be pretty upset. Like that, the one thing you don't mess with is a man's wallet. You know what I mean? Like
It's
that.
okay, Len. I'll pat you on the back, and it's like no worry, dear. I'll pay you back. I'll refund you.
Yeah, like seriously, I deal with that all day long working here at the storage units, and we have to have a separate contract that they sign specifically stating that we can take it out. And even then, when there is an issue, it's a nightmare. Like they get mad. I mean, mad. You mess with somebody's finances and they're going to get ticked.
hmm.
What we do at Bounce My House is we send them messages. It has to be fully paid 5 days before the event. So we start sending it the message like reminder you have a remaining balance with us. And at the last one, if they don't text back, we say like if we don't you don't pay, we're gonna auto charge your card to fully pay your event, and that way they can get mad because we're letting them know, and then we charge for the full amount.
Yeah. And two, I like that too because it gives you another chance to contact them. And the more you can contact them, the more conversation you have, the better your experience is going to be. It's not,
Is it like an auto message something, Polly? Like let them know ahead of time. Hey, in the next 3 day or 5 day, we're gonna like auto charge you for your event rental.
You can set it as an automation, but we keep track of our leads and we send as a snippet. We actually do what we call the manager survey 5 to 8 days before the event, to confirm all the details for their event, the remaining balance, to see this the contract is signed, to confirm the items, the address, the date, everything. And in that time, when we make the manager survey, we see the remaining balance and we let them know through the phone call that they have a remaining balance. And if they don't pay afterwards, I think it's 1 or 2 days after, we send that snippet.
Okay, so let's say if I book a bounce house from the bounce my house, how many message I'm getting? Let's say I book a month ahead. How many message I'm getting from the day that I start the booking until the day that my event.
You're gonna receive one a week before to upsell. You need anything else for your party. Then 6 to 8 days, you receive the manager survey. That is a phone call. If you don't answer for the manager survey, we're gonna send you a text saying that you can text us or call us back to do the manager survey. And afterwards, you receive one message after the event with your ETA, and you have to confirm so we can deliver to you, and that's it. And if you don't pay, you get a reminder with the manager survey 3 days before your event. No, sorry, 3 days after the manager survey, and then I think next day we auto charge.
That's crazy.
And
It's a lot of reminders. Yeah.
So it
I would
about
also
it
check
about
your
3
states.
text message.
I would also check your state's laws because each state is going to have different laws concerning that. Like I know Texas has different laws concerning text messages.
Yeah, it's a whole new thing, the new Texas law. Yeah.
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 And I'm sure finances is a whole nother beast. Those are really attorney questions.
Totally. We don't want to get into harassment.
Right.
It's also a personal preference type of thing. The email that I have going out 2 days beforehand says that if you do not pay beforehand, I expect cash at drop off.
Okay,
I used to do
so
cash. I don't do cash anymore.
We don't either.
I just threaten to not deliver. If it's not paid, we don't show up.
Exactly. That's what we do too.
yeah, I'm similar to Carla. If they make a deposit, then I will still show up, but then I'll make them pay at the spot before I drop the bounce house. But then if they don't, then I'll just keep the deposit.
But you already went all the way to drop off and everything, so better to charge before that.
Right. Or sometimes I try to call and try to make a confirmation with them before I get there, like either text or call them, just to make sure like, oh yeah, you have a remain balance that need to pay this much and this much, and then if they answer the phone, then I'll just take it from there.
Okay. Pete Bus John says 1,000 no pay, we don't arrive, and Rosalie says we don't unload if it's not paid. We don't even do the trip if it's not paid.
Most of my rentals, it's basically 50% of it is cash. And
Did you say 50% off if it's cash?
yes, sir. 50%
Oh, you're
is
nuts.
cash.
That's crazy. 50% off. Why would you do that?
No, 50% is cash, like
Oh, I
the
thought
payment.
you said 50% off.
No. No, 50% off my things are cash.
Oh,
My
okay.
sales.
Oh.
And I do ask for a deposit, but for the clients I already have for like 2-3 years, I don't ask for deposit because I know they will rent. They will not cancel me on the spot. So and for the customers that they always come back to me, I usually give them a good $15% instead of the 10. I usually just give them $5 more. That way, they see that I take care of them. Yep.
So everybody on here part of Venhawk, or they all do the? Y'all got your Google up? Google ads? No? Yeah,
I got Google Ads.
yeah. From the Venhawk. Everybody part of the Venhawk team? No, I was just kind of curious. If
I'm
you're
running
not,
my own.
if you're not, and if you don't know what you're really doing with running your own, a Venhawk team knows what they're doing. So have them run it, and you'll be a one happy camper.
Have you ever checked how good your SEO is?
Oh, I don't really care about the SEO. I care about the money in my pocket. So if I'm making bags of money, I'm all good to go.
So you just like, okay, I don't care about SEO, but I'm doing just pay the Google ad.
Just pay the Google ad, and because they're going to be making you some big bucks. They just closed me in a huge deal, big deal. Probably maybe one of the second biggest deals that my company's ever closed. Big money. So it's crazy. So I highly recommend joining the team.
Mhm.
Give them, just trust the process. That's all I could say. If you haven't been part of their team, they know what they're doing, and they're the experts. That's why I let them kind of, do their thing. I might be on top of them a little bit, but at the end of the day, the sales are what matters to me, and this year they're getting me more corporate clients than I've ever had before.
As in for me, I just started with Event Hawk this about 3 4 months ago, and right now there is a difference. I began a lot of customers already, new customers from all over my area.
Yeah.
And man, for right now, I could say I love it. This weekend, I believe I have as of right now, I have about 8 to 10 rentals. So, and I have 2 events on Easter. So,
Beautiful, man. They
yeah.
just booked me a $10,000 event.
Oh, I wish I had that one now.
Yeah, it's crazy, man.
And Hawk
Crazy.
rocks, guys.
Yeah, man. It's crazy.
uh,
Feeling blessed today, man. It's crazy. I just got word today. My college got approval, and yeah. So I mean, it's crazy, man.
What do you mean that they got the $10,000 booking for you?
Well, I mean, without me running my Google ads, I would just be kind of on the back burner sitting. And since I run Google ads, they're the ones who get me all these big jobs and big stuff. So without them being able to run those, without running Google ads, I wouldn't be kind of, I guess, where I'm at. So I just highly recommend them, and they've got me all kinds of. They got me high end clients basically. So before I used to deal with like just shitty clients that I hated. They don't. It was the hardest to get $150 out of them for a bounce house, and I don't even deal with those customers anymore, which is great. So most of
uh,
I have just all like high end clients. So
can I ask you a question? You Zoom user? I don't know what's your name, but is your inventory most like water slides, or do you have a lot of games like interactive
I
games?
tried
Or
some games, but they're not really making me money. But this big corporate event, thank God I had them. They're because they went them like with my new 360, where people get in this little cart thing, ride that around. That's 1,500 to rent. So we're renting that. Some not too many bounce houses for this college event, face painting, balloons, just stuff like that. But I mean, yeah, I mean, we just all my stuff is all big. I used to do like little palm trees, 12 by 12, 13 by 13s, but I threw most of that stuff out. I didn't even try selling it, to be honest with you. It was so old. I updated a lot of my inventory once I joined up Event Hawk, and I got all big, huge mega combos, dinosaurs, mermaid, just stuff like that. Pirate, combos, stuff that's a water slide bounce house combo and a basketball hoop, all three in one. So I'm only dealing with like really. I only want to be dealing with mega stuff. I don't want to really be dealing with like you know the the cheap backyard 150 parties anymore. So I haven't done those in a while. So when I joined Event Hawk, it's been a couple years now, maybe 3 4 years. I just noticed a huge increase in sales, especially over the last couple years, and then as I've grown and bought new inventory and different things. Definitely, without the Event Hawk, I probably wouldn't be where I'd still be kind of, lagging around with shitty bounce houses. I'm just being honest with you guys. Bounce houses that are like 150, 12 by 12, stuff like that. When I upped my game and got all megas, then it definitely changed up the game. So, and the clientele and everything. So, and the
Thank you
work.
Ray,
th-
Ray,
for
Yeah.
how
the
much you
commercial,
paying for
guys.
your ad like monthly?
me?
If you don't mind I'm asking. No,
I
Ray,
think
the Zoom
it,
user. He also named
Oh,
Ray.
it
oh,
could be like, maybe 1,500. I think somewhere around there, somewhere around there. So, yeah.
Okay.
oh.
Thank you guys for the commercial for Event Hook for the ones that are not customers and you want your Google Ads with us. I'm throwing the link right now in the chat so you can have a meeting with us. pretty efficient. We get you sales and bookings and everything. Thank you guys.
Oh yes.
That's amazing. I love that topic, by the way. But going back to our topic, how do you guys turn a one-time customer into a recurring customer?
For
I guess
me,
just I would say the experience. You know, you want to have the experience of with them going to a one of your bounce house parties. Um, if it's at a 4-year-old birthday's party, you know, if it's a boy or boy or girl, you know, if you do a really good job there, if you have a like an 18-foot slide and a regular bouncer, and they have other kids there. I've done a lot of parties like that where somebody else's birthday was a month away, and hey, we seen your stuff at you know little Timmy's party, and so we want to have that same stuff. So it's almost like it's a competition between the birthday party. So that's one. It's really just customer service. If you be able to get them hooked, and they see your variety of inflatables, because some people are truly only going to be like a bounce house person. I have people just get a bounce house. They've had a single bounce house for the past 5 years. So that's the bread and butter of the bounce house and the combos. You're just trying to get a good selection. You be on time and take care of people. Then they're just, they're from referring you to other people or just doing, hey, we've done the bounce house. Okay, let's try one of your combos. Or it's getting warmer. Let's get a water slide. So, like I said, first impression goes a long way when you're doing these events. If you're late, if your stuff is dirty, it's kind of they may give you another chance if it's really good. But if you're late and your stuff is dirty, it's kind of hard for them to give you a second chance. It's about like us going to a restaurant and it's taking 30 minutes to get your food. Why would I go back to them? That's one aspect of it. I know y'all was hearing you were saying about the automations. That's one thing. They love getting those, just those updates. Hey, okay, our parties it's Saturday, and we contacted them on that Tuesday, and hey, we got your party coming up, and you want to add anything? It's tables and chairs. And the day before, hey, we're gearing up for your party tomorrow. Can't wait to see you. We loading up the truck now. So if you want to add anything last minute, so you're just being on top of it. Where people who have booked 2 months ago, well, we haven't heard anything from you. Hey, we sent out, reminders the week of, just to make sure that they know we're on top of it. So I guess that's one of the things that we try to do. Usually getting that customer. I know one thing we're looking at from the loyalty. If you have people, hey, the discount, you're trying to get just a set number too, whether that's a 5%. I guess almost people say whichever one is lower. If it's 5% of their total versus the $20 that everybody can get. If I know that's us, we have like the new customers, the $20 off your order. But if you have somebody that's booking $1,000, if you're getting that 5%, where they're getting $50 off $1,000, that's not hurting anything. And so it's just showing that I guess that loyalty to keep them in, year out. One more thing I add to that too, and with the SEO, some people they both go hand in hand with the Google ads and the SEO, because if you're only doing Google ads, they're only seeing you when they're looking for you. The SEO, you're building that organic presence. It takes longer, but it's long lasting. If that goes with your landing pages or your Google My Business profile, updating pictures, when you're posting, putting things on there where they're always seeing you. If they're always seeing you, hey, that's the company. Hey, we use, Mr. Calvin, or we use whatever your company name is, where they're always seeing you. So they trust you. It's almost like you're building that brand. So why not go with your company? So
Have
my
you get your SEO work done, Calvin?
yeah, yeah. Um Event Hawk did some pages for me the year before last, and I just kind of jumped on what they did. And I've been on Chat GPT, for this past year, and so really just been using it like it's an employee. And so getting those landing pages for down the bounce house, getting landing pages for your water slides and obstacles, so they're always seeing your bounces. We not only do bounce houses, but we do water slides, we do obstacle courses. So that's the SEO, just that getting everything quote unquote the optimization of everything. So that's that. Wherever they're searching you, they're seeing you. You know, I guess a little bit everywhere.
Guys, today you got all of you a golden star. We're gonna hire you to promote Event Hawk because you're talking about the specific topics we do. And let me just
Gold
say,
star.
Rosalie says on the comments, follow up to get more the customers that one time to be recurrent customers. And we have on Facebook, Denny Ned. Hey, Denny. He's saying A1 services building relationships.
So here's something that Calvin hit on that I thought was great. I used to be in the restaurant industry, and I actually looked into the stats behind this. And the truth of the matter is, we all believe that if we give great service, that people will just love to come back. But the reality is, if you have a perfect experience in a restaurant, you're still only around 40% likely to return to that restaurant. Most people don't realize the people that come back don't come back because it was just so great. Their life is busy, things are hectic, it's been a long time. The reason they come back is because they are habitual. Every single person has a habit in their life, and you may go to Subway twice a week. That may be your habit. The reason you do that is because something has triggered that for you, whether it's ease, it's location, it's the cost. I constantly go to Sam's Club and pick up pizza and a Coke because it's cheap and it's close. It's not good for me, right? Like I can do without some pizza, let's be honest, right? But I do it because it's easy for me to build that habit. And if you want customers to come back, you're going to have to trigger the things that cause them to be habitual with your business. It's not just, oh, I gave good service. Because the reality is, you go down the street, there may be 50 restaurants that do good service. And I promise you're not going to eat out 50 times a week. I don't care how much you like food like I do. It's just not going to happen. So we've got to distinguish ourselves by finding the thing that makes us habitual for that customer. And we can't do that until we can identify the type of customer that we want and how they think.
Meaning backyard parties,
So
event.
so why did a mother book for her children in the first place? Why did she come to you? What was the thing that made her come to you in the first place? She'd never heard of you, never used you before. Why did she come to you? You did something right, and you need to find out what that something was and keep that easy for her to do. Like was it the fact that you offered Apple Pay and nobody else did? Was it the fact that you were close, or was it the fact that she is habitually late for everything and she booked the day before and you were available? Whatever it is that made it habitual or made it easy the first time, you have to continue to do those things so that they'll want to come back.
Or maybe
For
that you're with Event Hawk.
for me, it's more my customers keep coming back. One, because like you say, customer service, uh, cleaning variables, like great units, and me is more that whenever I go to drop off a water slide to a house and I don't know where their water hose is not working or the dog chew it or anything. I in my truck, in my trailer, I always carry extra things just to for those type of occasions, and I just tell them, hey, I have an extra one and I just throw it in for free. I mean, some people charge for the water hoses or extra extension cord and things like that, but for me, it's more like an extra step for me to get close to them, and so that way they can rely on me. So whenever I go back again and the water hose is again chewed or there's or the little water thing it's leaking or something, I have pliers, I have everything to fix on the spot. So that's one of my main things that my customers tell me, hey, whenever you come, there could be an issue and you just fix it right there. You know what I mean? And like you say, I mean, mom's book. They want the party to be good and everything, and they don't want to be there, 90-degree um day dragging a water hose or try to connect it or try to get it right. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
No, that's yeah.
So
I mean, that's exactly what we want to limit the. So they go with you, your company. Like I said, you bring in an extra water hose because we all been to a school or a church and they want this thing way out somewhere. I was like, okay, okay, and it's like, or even the water hose. I mean, when I do schools, I'm like, I know they're not gonna have the water hoses. You just
yep,
so
yep.
you're getting mad at the customer knowing you've been to the school 3 times before and they never have had the water hose. Just pay the extra $10, $15, get the hose because now you're gonna have another hose. You're gonna have uh, buy a water key. Go to Walmart or wherever it is, get a water key because now you're not waiting on the janitor or the minister at the church or something to get a water key. So you want to make
That's
we want because we all been there. You want to make their experience so why they want to keep coming back to you. Hey, all I got to do is, and even we have on our sheet, we don't have it front yard or backyard or side yard. So hey, this is Mr. Calvin. We coming to get you set up. How you doing? We're gonna backyard, right? Okay, can get you set up. We already know we done enough backyards. We know the outlet is gonna be in the back of the house or the side of the house, or so we already know those. This basic house, or you have to go through the window. So you just eliminate. So when they eliminating problems, so when they order from us as bounce house operators or phone or whatever we doing, that it's a great experience. Hey, we go with Mr. Calvin or Fun and Done because all we got to do is point. Hey, we want the bouncer here, and it's going to be set up, no hassle, and it's going to be easy on us. We don't want to be one more thing that they're having to depend on us being late or just a easy, stress free experience with us as
I
all
agree
operators.
with I agree with that, and respectfully, Lane, I think good stuff. Everything you said is good. Um, and maybe my market is smaller. It's not small, but it's smaller. Um, but in my area, it is uh, relationship. Like the last two guys were talking about, going above and beyond, being on time, being communicative, um, much more so than. So I think that you were, Lane. I think that you were saying that maybe relationships would be second most important. In my experience, I would say relationships and customer service, excuse me, are number one.
No, I think relationships are extremely important, right? Like that may be the reason you got it in the first place, right? Like if your word of mouth is good, that's going to go farther than any kind of Google ads. That's going to go farther than any kind of Facebook. Like your relationship is number one. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is what makes it easy. And a lot of times it is relationship, right? It's
mhm.
easy for me to pick up the phone and call somebody that I've got a relationship with and say, hey man, can you do this for me? I've got some stuff going on. My mechanic, I dearly love because I've got a relationship with him and I can say, hey, I've got this going on. Do you mind looking at it? And a lot of times, because of our relationship, he'll say, I really don't have time for that right now. But I tell you what, I know you've got this in your toolbox. If you'll go pull this and tell me what it looks like, I can give you a better answer. I'll go do that. And he's like, oh, yeah, you definitely need to get that in here to me. I'm going to make some room. And he figures out how to make it happen. But if it was just a regular mechanic that I called and I didn't have a relationship with them, they'd be like, nope, we're booked up for 3 weeks. Sorry, you're on your own. And that goes a long ways. I'm not saying don't have relationships. What I'm saying is, even if everything is perfect, you still have to make it easy for that customer to want to come back.
That's why social media is also so important that you're always posting and constantly in their face, if you want to say it that way. My biggest hook, I just did it again today, actually, is sending an email 300 days after their event. Usually parent moms, myself, I'm looking about 2 months in advance for a party. So if I'm going to be booking a bounce house, I'm I need to start planning that ahead of time, and I want to make sure that I am in their face, in their inbox before they're even thinking about, hey, I need to book that next party. Or hey, what was the name of the company that I used last year?
Hmm. The reminders are really important.
Yep.
Oh yeah, yeah, it definitely. And it doesn't really. I know I just got through with from like the inflatable road show, and they had all the different vendors and manufacturers. It don't matter if you got the brand new unreleased Spider-Man, or Miles Morales, or whatever it is. They want to make sure your stuff is good, just as long as it's just clean. I know we like to get the newest and the brightest, but you have those companies that they don't have a website, they don't have the newest thing, but their stuff is in good shape. They have it clean, and they get some of those contacts that you don't have because they, like I said, you keep in contact. So it's not even about the biggest, the 27 or the newest things. It's like maintain your equipment, make sure it's in working condition, and just like I said, the following up and having those connections. Well, you're right. If they're seeing you every time, you don't have to have the brand new, because we didn't. My first two units were brand new. That was 14 years ago. The rest of them have been used units. But if you take care of your stuff, it's not all about having the newest Lego or Minecraft or whatever inflatable. So it's just having a good, good variety if you have that. And like I said, you just stand in front of people where when they think of bounce houses or slides, they're thinking about your company, of how you quote unquote made their kid. There's something about you go to a person's yard, and you there, and they smile and you can't, they about to tackle you. Hey, let me put up the bounce house first, and then then you can jump. So it's just almost, it's because we're bringing the fun, we're bringing the excitement. So, and you don't want, that's one less thing, like I said, us being on team. That's the bare minimum, being on time. That's the some of this stuff is, that's not even it's just the bare minimum of that. And I'll go back to what y'all was talking about earlier. Like my first 11 years, we were cash on delivery. So we wasn't even, so no deposit. And in 11 years, I can count on one hand the amount of, and that was probably my first year, probably the first couple of bookings that, that didn't, I showed up there, nobody was there. So I just been blessed for that. And so what they say, if you build them, they will come. So if you, if you have your website and your presence, they're gonna see you. And let me check them out this year. Give them a chance.
Well, in my area, like I said earlier, 50% of my things are cash. I mean, where I live, cash is
Yeah,
the way they like it. So that's good with me.
keep taking it.
Yeah.
Cash is king.
Yep.
Always good to have cash, baby. What else, guys? Do you give them some sort of code or discount for they to come back to rent for with you?
Unless you're on ERS, if you got cash, now they're charging you 1% for it.
Ooh.
Really,
Nope,
See,
Lane?
I'm not
guys,
there.
inflatable office event hawk. We're the solution.
They're only charging you the 1% if you're under a certain percentage of credit cards do
Yeah.
their thing, which is a
70%.
sham anyway, especially for the little guys in
Yeah.
that like the one guy here talking about he does all cash. They're going to be snatching 1%. That's crazy.
How do
What?
you how do you manage your cash? I mean, I know that's like a tricky question, but
They
Under
hold
the
your credit card payments and take it out of that.
under the
You don't
mattress.
enter it in your software.
What the government don't know won't hurt them.
Exactly. Let me ask you, do y'all have a set price? Because that was when I was trying to figure out this year, like for your repeat customers. I know I said like 5%. I talked to another operator, and he's in a different state. He's outside of Dallas, and he was saying he was doing like the 5%. Like I said, my first time customers are like the $20. But you have those repeat customers. Is it depending on what they are what they're renting? Because sometimes you got people, they're still getting the cheapest thing. Well, just a bounce house is probably everybody's cheapest, unless you're talking about like like a machine, but they have to sit like a minimum order for that. But is it the 5%? Is it, is it a certain dollar amount that we trying to? One thing, I'm trying to stay away from discounts unless I'm trying to discount as few as, not few as possible, for your bigger stuff. But like if you're getting maybe two or three, depending on like the amount. But we have people. I mean, we've been in this business. Everybody, they're ordering something for $100 and asking for $30 off. So that's not gonna happen. But is it a certain percent? So like if you have a school, because I heard some people online. I mean, everybody talks big online, so on Facebook or whatever. But some people don't give discounts whatsoever. So is that more of a 5%, or what are you guys charging for that or discounting for that?
So it's
Well, let me tell you, Lane is totally against discounts.
no,
We know
not
that.
not completely. No,
That's a good one.
the way I look at it is there's a reason Walmart exists and Office Depot exists, and they both still are here at the same time. Office Depot prices for file folders are $25 for about 50 folders. You can go to Walmart and get 100 for like 12.40 something. And most people would go, it's the same folder, it's way cheaper. Why in the world would Office Depot still exist and still sell those? And the reason for that is they're different customer bases. Office Depot is selling to a business that does not care what it costs. They're writing it off on their taxes. They're racking up the points on their Amex cards. They're getting the loyalty rewards. Like they don't care. They're actually happy to spend more because I get to use that on my mileage for my credit card, And it's like I get more flight miles. They're doing it all through the business. Where Walmart is dealing with customers that are like, hey, I'm having to pay for this out of my pocket. I got to pay for my kids to have clothes for school. I got to make sure that my family can eat, right? So they're two totally different models. And so when you go to a Walmart customer, they expect a discount. They need a discount. That they want that discount. But when you go to an Office Depot customer, they don't. And the same thing is true with ours. When you go to schools, you're going to actually probably charge more. Everybody that I've talked to, Spacewalk, um, all of the big players, they charge 20 to 50% more for larger events simply because there's more wear and tear, there's more damage, and the guys don't really seem to care. And I mean, they do shop around, but they're shopping around in the sense of in that same market mindset. And some of them, it was the corporate events, they don't even shop around at all. I've had people that have told me, no, you're my first call. I don't want to have to deal with this. Just book it and get it over with. And that's the difference right there. So those guys, no, don't offer them a discount, charge them more. But the guys that are like, man, I was really hoping to throw an awesome party for my kid, but I got a budget of $400 and I'm trying to get the most value out of what I have to spend. Yeah, I'll give you a discount. Yeah, I'll throw in a snow cone machine or a yard game, whatever because that's what they're looking for and you've got to hit that thing that they need and that's what I was talking about earlier. Make it easy for them. Find their pain point and solve it.
But you're not charging them more. I know people who
I
charge more.
absolutely am. If it
No,
goes to a
I mean,
church
but
or a
that's
school, I jack it up 20%.
no.
Yes, I do.
So if you rent a water slide for 400, how much you charge them?
For a school,
Yeah.
that would be like 480.
Oh, okay, that's not bad.
When
Yeah,
No, I
they
mean, but
when they
I mean,
find out that you've upcharged, they're not going to call you back next year, Lane.
Oh no,
yeah,
I
but
tell
you
them up front. I tell them exactly. I tell them, hey, you're going to have so many more kids on this equipment. It's going to take more for us to get things set up and make sure that the stuff is organized for them to come through. Because I mean, you've got to lay out why. You can't just raise prices, right? There's a
no,
Yeah.
but
No,
but
wait.
but
The
we get
bouncer
mad
guy.
at the. I think on that, if you're gonna do schools, if you're gonna do churches, just make them automatically get the damage waiver, which is gonna be 12 or 10%. I wouldn't upcharge them just because they're a school. Just make them automatically get the damage waiver, which will be 8 to 10%. So now
See,
they
I still
know.
charge them the damage waiver on top of that.
And that's actually also for the 4th of July, you have to have a damage waiver.
Well, that, yeah. 4th of July, yeah, for sure.
No, I'm
Well,
just
the
saying
bouncer
just
guy says we offer 50% off all return customers, but we updated our regular prices 10% higher and offer discounts, making the customer feel they are getting a deal.
Right. And
Yeah, I do that
I
too.
yeah,
when I do
yeah.
discounts, I
You
have
get
that
into that
factored
three
in.
when
You know, when you do discounts, you got to have that factored in. What's it going to cost you and what are you getting out of it, right? Because if you go into business and you say, I'm going to sell it for what my competition sells it for, I have no idea what it cost me. I have no idea whether or not this is going to be profitable. I have no idea how much I'm spending in labor or gas or any of that stuff. And my prices are just literally based off of what the next guy's charging. What happens is everybody starts trying to go, well, I've got to be at their price or less. And you start this death spiral, and it gets cheaper and cheaper and cheaper. And you're starting to see this in places like Houston, some parts of southern Florida. You know, the weather's great over in California. There's so many guys, and the only thing they're competing on is price that they're killing the entire industry.
Oh yeah.
They're getting inflatables that used to cost $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 are now $2,000 to $3,000. They have no resale on the market. And it's because they're trashing the industry, just trying to be the next cheapest. And nobody has any sort of concept of what it takes to actually be profitable. And so that's why there's only a handful of guys that you see that last very long. And you see a lot of guys come in, they're here 2, 3, maybe 4 years at the most, and they're gone. I mean, that's true across any industry, though. You're going to see that with anything. I think it's 90% of businesses fail within the first 5 years because they underestimate cash flow and they don't understand how prices work.
yeah, I mean, well, because most of these people shouldn't be starting a business in the first place. That's most people, you just think it's an idea. But I think with us, like with our market, I mean, you have to know your market one, and will it sell in your market? You have things that do good in other markets that don't necessarily do good in your market. So that's knowing your market from that. But like you said, the price point, it just depends. Like you said, if you're ultimately trying to secure customers, what is your basis of getting them to? You're not doing this for 1 year. You're in this for the long haul. When you're doing like last year, we did over 600 rentals. Um, Even if I'm trying to, this year the goal is to do 700 on rentals, and so but at a higher price on a price point. You want to take care of your customer base, like your bread and butter of, if do people even know what their numbers look like? Do you know what percentage of your customers are coming back? Is that 20%? Is that 30%? And so keeping a look at your CRM, whether you would ERS or inflatable office or BCN, just looking at your numbers, so you say, hey, okay, I have a good percent. I have 30%, and this month we did really good on like newer customers. So you getting them in there at that price, because even you say you compare in our industry, and we are in a tricky industry because it's not the same as the McDonald's or the other units. You're trying to get people to come back because you have people. Some people do parties all year long. You have customers. I have customers that do 3, 4 events, and I'm not even talking about the schools. I'm talking about people's house. They have 3 or 4 kids. So like, what are they going to keep you? It's not so, because it's not only you can charge them $75, but if it's not good, if it's not a good inflatable, or you're not good with your communication with the customers, they're not going to go back to you. So no matter the price, but you're trying to get something that it's I have a good price, and I have great customer service, and we're going to take care of you, and not overcharge you, Lane, for the school. But it's because but that's what we're hearing right here. Like, Lane, you would say you charge more for the school. I don't necessarily do that. I do a lot of schools, so it's not. I've never, from that though. So that hadn't been the way we do it. But it's a lot of ways to um to gain that dollar. So
Well, Calvin, I'll tell you this, man. You know, you're in my market. I know where you're at and what you're doing. And I've talked to a lot of just our competitors, and they've all basically said the same thing about you, and that's you're leaving money on the table. And that's probably their biggest complaint is that somebody would come in and trash the market like that. And one of the biggest things that I've learned is if you're not losing 70% of your leads, then you're too cheap. You should be making at least 30%. If you're not making at least 30%, then you're not doing enough. You're not trying hard enough. But if you're not losing at least 7 out of 10, you're too cheap.
Guys, Pit Boss is saying that you can grow your company if you are on the lower end. If you have as a side business to just make a little extra, then that's fine. However, in the business, you will fall. What do you think about that?
I mean, side hustle, yeah, but I mean, I did it as a side hustle for like 2 years, and it was fine. I mean, you're talking about $500, $600 extra, and I only had like two, three inflatables. So that was fine, you know. But I mean, but those like Lane say or somebody else was saying, I mean, those are the guys that I mean we used to be, or at least me, and right now he's the one that killed this industry. Like I
Like,
was saying, $85 for a bounce house over here where I'm at.
Oh,
It's nah,
it's
yeah.
cheap. But
yeah,
wait. I'm still in shock. 70% lane?
yeah.
70.
I think that
70%. I mean, if you can close 30% of what you get, that's great. You know what I'm saying? Like, if every lead that comes in and you close 30% of it, that's great. You should be losing about 70%.
I think that's
I'm
too high.
yeah. Me.
But like you said,
Me too. I
if
think
you
that's
already have your market, it shouldn't be 70%.
yeah. You shouldn't be. Yeah, you shouldn't be
10%
losing it.
because you
Yeah,
already have your market. Your
yeah.
market knows how much you charge, how's your service. You already have your captive customers, so it should be less.
So,
And there's one because like when you're doing Google ads and you're not competing with everybody in your state. You say if I want to collect
no.
these 3 or 4 cities, so one you need to um um make that a smaller radius because like if I've been established 14 years, I'm not losing 70%. People who go to my website and book, I have a if not 50, 60% of close rate. So that's seven. And everybody's not gonna be your customer too. And I've been into Dallas because I get my repairs in Dallas. So I do know of people who in the 85. Those are not people you are competing with. You're always gonna have people. That's why you Sam's Club. You like you said. You say Sam's. You can go in and get a slice of pizza, big old slice of pizza. We're really getting two slices for $2.50. They can't do that at other places. So yeah, at the market. So yes, Dallas and some of these bigger markets, you're always gonna have people for $100. You getting it all day long. But do you want that $75 customer? No. So
No, that's what I'm saying.
but that's not your clientele. Like we always talk about the Facebook marketplace. Every client is not yours. So you focus
Right.
on
And
who you're going to
there,
get to get a more ticket because we do like and when you get that, how many can you service? Because see, people want to get a lot of customers, but you can't keep those customers because you're late or because you can't handle all the volume that comes with you because of said price. So you want to be in a sweet spot. Some people want to be the highest price. That never was me. I don't want to be the highest. I don't want to be the name brand as in the highest price on it. I want to be a good spot. So if you make a lot of money, you can go to Mr. Calvin, or if you don't make a lot of money, you can go to Mr. Calvin's bouncer. So it's just being in that
And that's
sweet
why
spot.
everyone needs a BA, no? Guys,
That's
you should tell Tarek I need a raise. I'm promoting Event Hog the correct way. Everyone needs a VA so you can go and deliver everything while someone takes your text and your calls and makes more sales for you.
but see, Polly, if you go and you look at Tariq's numbers, like I've heard Tariq say this himself, he only closes around 10 to 15% of what comes in. And that's what I'm saying. Like that's way less than 30%.
Yeah, but
I
the
guess when
prices
you
are
put it
really
like
high.
that, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like we've got it in our heads that we need to get 50, 60, 70, 80, like those kind of close rates are unheard of. Absolutely unheard of.
Lane, are you saying that
Most people, then when they look at their pricing, when they line up the way their units are priced, they cannot tell you what their costs are times their margin rate.
Yep.
Lane, when you're talking about someone undercutting your pricing, for example, what do you run a standard bouncer for?
A regular like 13 by 13 bounce
Yep,
house.
yep.
Last year when we just started, I was at 150.
Okay. So where are you right around that now?
I think we're fixing to raise prices on that actually. I think we're
Okay,
about
so
to
let's
go up
say
to
you're at
about
150
175.
currently, right? So if
But
someone rents tomorrow, they're getting it for 150.
yeah, for 150.
What is the undercutter getting for the same unit?
I have no idea. I'm not worried about them. That's what I'm saying. Mine's based off of what it cost me times the margin that I need to make to be profitable.
No, I'm saying that you're saying that will wreck the industry or the local industry anyway.
No, what
And
I'm saying is if you start here and they come here and you're worried about them, so you drop here, and then they're worried about you, so they drop here, you end up doing this until you're down here selling bounce houses for nothing.
yeah, no, that's not what I understood it as. I'm saying is there a there are Facebook Marketplace folks around here that are getting. I get 185 for a standard bouncer. You can go on Marketplace around here and get one for $100.
Yeah.
Where are
And
you?
that's what
Probably
I'm saying.
comes with the table and chairs.
Where
I'm
are
not
you
saying
at?
anything about that. As long as they're legal, I don't care.
Where are you at? Where are you at with the 185?
Middle Tennessee.
Okay, and that's, I mean, because me and Lane are in the same market, because mine is 150, so that is the average
Yeah.
in our market. I mean, and that's one thing. Research your market,
Yeah.
because you can say most people, if you buy this bouncer brand new for 1,500, most people say, hey, I want to get my money back in 10 rentals. So there goes the 150 or the 159. In different markets, that 185 is good. Like I couldn't charge what Tariq charges because he's in Chicago. That's a premium
Sure.
market, and so that's
Yeah.
his marketplace. He charges 359 for a 15 foot, or 359 or 399. So there's no way I could charge that. So it's knowing what your market is. And that's why sometimes we get over zealous with some of the words we're using on that, because it's just because you have to know that every customer is not yours, but that's our average. Like seeing what everybody is. So the average ticket is 150 for like a bounce house or like a combo bounce, because some people are charging, some people in the market, they're charging 400 for just a standard combo. And so I was like, I couldn't get that price. So it's definitely knowing your market, so you can adjust your prices accordingly on that. As you say, to keep your customers. And so on there. So it's a lot of research on your market to see what you is what you can and cannot get away with. And you can test, because some people test the market. Hey, we 150, let's push it up. I have people like for the 4th of July, like we're going up this year for the 4th. We're going up like $50 for a combo, 75 for a water slide. Some people were, well, 2 years ago they went up like, what was it? 25%, and then they went up. No, it was 15%, then they went up 35%. And they said this year I think we're gonna go back down to that 20%. That was the sweet spot. So it's just sometimes it's that A/B testing. Okay, does this work here? Okay, I think we pushed it a little bit far too much, so we can, because you can always bring that price down, your price point, especially for special holidays pricing. So
Yeah, and I'm not saying that everybody should be the top of their market, right? Because then you have the exact opposite. You have a runaway effect where everybody's trying to outdo each other, and then you get so expensive that people can't afford it. You've got to work within that market, but at the same time, you also have to realize that it should be based on what makes you profitable. If you're not profitable and you're in the market, then either you need to redo your business and figure out why you're not profitable, or you need to take a long, hard look at what your prices actually are and see, well, I've only got like 0.05% margin. Well, there's your problem, right? You need to charge more, because if you make 10% off of every sale and you charge, we'll say $200 to keep the math simple, and I make 10%, that means I make $20. If I go up $20, which is just 10 more percent, then now I've doubled my income. People don't realize that. I've gone
Jim,
from
wait, wait.
10% to 20%, but I've made double of what I bring in.
yeah.
Yeah. Jim, it's too late for me to do math, but he says, set your price at what it costs you to buy the bouncer, take that price you paid, divide it by 10, and that is your price. Jim, it's too late to do
Exactly.
that.
So if you paid whatever for it, you're going to pay for that thing off in 10 rentals. The
Yeah.
first 10 rentals, you're paying that thing off, and you owe nothing on it. And then thereafter, that thing's making gravy.
Yep.
Okay.
Totally.
That's how we basically set our price.
Assuming you're not
with
burning
a
it
little
gas
tweak
and
here
labor.
and there, because
No.
some
mean,
you get
but
a
that's
real expensive one, and you divide it by 10, your price is way out there. So there is a tweak there, but
yeah. But
like
but
you
that's
guys
the
are talking
standard.
about standard bouncers. I'm 190 for 4 hours
But
plus
Jim,
tax.
have you not seen the same thing happening in the price of the bouncers since they've gotten outsourced to China? Things that keep getting cheaper and cheaper, and you got guys like Tent and Table that are undercutting, and they're getting to the point they're so cheap now that even 10% is cutting into your profit margins.
No, not really. I mean, you don't. I mean, you're always going to have somebody that's going to be a little bit cheaper, but that's kind of been the basic rule. That 10 to 12. If this is like if you buying that thing for 3,000, 10 is 300, or depending on what it is. So that's been kind of the gold standard at 10 to 12%. I mean,
Right.
that yeah, 10 to
But
12,
that's a
10.
percentage. It's based off of the amount that the manufacturer's charging. So imagine the manufacturers start doing that, right? They have a bounce house that's $4,000. And that was pretty much the standard, 15, 20 years ago. It was $4,000 to buy a bounce house. And then somebody comes in and cuts that. And now it's $3,000. So my 10%, my 10 times of that $4,000, which was 400, has now been cut to 300, and then somebody comes in and offers it for 25, and then somebody offers it for 2,000, which is about where we're sitting now. I've even started seeing some of them, like the Hero Kiddos and whatnot, down to almost $1,000 for a bounce house.
But you're not getting those. But that's so. But
But
like
you're
you said,
not renting it for $100, is what I'm saying.
no, I'm
You're
saying, but it still is relative. Like he was saying, like we know that a average bounce house is going to be about $1,500. You may get it on sale because you can go places and get them on sale. I just bought a Spider-Man brand new, was 1,500. So when your taxes, I mean your travel, that's why you have a travel fee that you tack on there. That's why you have, so we have other fees that we can tack on because you're not going to always be able to put that quote on the exact bouncer. That's why we have the setup fees and the hey, this is going to be on, grass or, concrete. You have the sandbags fee. So you're always going to have those. But the standard is roughly about 10. And we all know, we've been in the business long enough. We know what a typical bounce house costs.
Yeah,
But
and the standard is a percentage, though. That's
no,
exactly
I
what
mean,
I'm saying.
but it's still kind of, that's what I'm saying. It's still, it's not set in stone, but that's about the average. And it's what your area is. Some people can get more for a bounce house in their area because it's I'm in Little Rock. So you talking about 200,000. So if I'm in Houston, they may be charging a lot more for that bounce house because that's the market for that bounce house as well too. You wouldn't be able to get the 125. So you would go up. So if that bounce house is 1,500, it might be 150 to 10% rule, but you're in Houston, so you have to charge more because because the average bounce house is there as what 185 to 195. I just it's the last time I was checking on that. So yeah.
Hey, I know that Polly's going to kick us out soon. Will Event Hawk be in Nashville next week?
Yeah,
Alan,
I think Tariq's supposed to be speaking, ain't he? Yeah.
actually, Event Hawk?
Yep.
Yeah, we're gonna do well, Tariq is going to do a webinar, right, Alan? You know more
Yes,
about that than me.
the
Is that at
Tuesday.
IOA?
Yeah. IOA.
Yeah, that's the one.
Okay, so Tariq will be there.
He's going with Brandon, guys.
Oh, Brandon.
Yeah, the happy guy.
Met that guy in Ayapa. It's good. He's really
Happy guy.
nice.
He's got the right attitude all the time.
Yes, he does.
So
Guys,
that's
I haven't kicked you out. Why do you go silent?
Imagine
We
going
can
back to what you
we
said
can chat.
earlier. So you guys have to have your payment before they even get there. So is it 48 hours before, or is it 24 hours that they have to pay bounce my house?
5 days before.
Okay, for five. Okay, 5 days before. Okay, and you guys charge
Obviously, if they're
50%, right?
renting 3 days before, they have to pay right away. But if
Okay,
they're
okay,
booking like 2 weeks in advance, they have to be paid 5 days before.
yeah. But even like when I talked to Tariq about not even that we just sat down and was having lunch, but see, he's not really trying to push bounce my house like that. Like the amount of rentals. He said they're trying to I want to say do less rentals. So they're not really, even though their prices are. I think I was down there when he bought that 18-foot double slide, and they say, oh, it's gonna go out for like, what do you say, like 650? I was like, good God. I was like, how's he getting that much for that?
Our prices are high.
It is high.
Yeah.
I mean, but that's his market, because he's a premium market, but I know other people who might be like a tad lower than him, but he's not really trying to, and that's one thing too. If his goal is not to do 1,000 orders or seven. I think he said they did what they did 500 orders or 400 orders, something like that. So they're technically not doing a lot of orders, but his average ticket prices may be more than some people though. So it just kind of depends on what you're trying to get. So
Depends on the season. We got a lot of bookings sometimes that we have to pick up from one customer and 10 minutes after deliver to another one. So it depends on the season, like 4th of July, graduation season, and everything. It depends. But yeah, our prices are really high and we got a lot of bookings.
Wow.
yeah, because y'all have. I mean, because I know that we said they that. I mean, that was a while ago. They would say that doing that $10,000 week or whatnot. So you're trying to maintain of what you're doing for the customers. If that's following up with the customers, if that's making sure, hey, we got your address correct, and it's okay. They really followed up with us. They wanted to make sure that everything, the event was at the correct address, at the correct time, and so just following up with the customer. That's one, like I said, to keep that customer. And so, but I know we're trying to, I guess,
And not
do
just
more.
that, when we do that manager survey, we tell them we first confirm all the details,
Yes.
date, items, everything. And at the end, we give them the rules, no shoes, no sharp objects, no food or drink near to the bounce house, no city string, no grills, no. And we give them all the information. And afterwards, we send, like, we're going to send you your ETA, just confirm to us, please. And yes, you're right. They feel like they've been taken care of. We've been follow up with them. We're confirming their details, that everything goes smooth with their delivery and everything. So yeah, they feel special.
Okay. So you're
Hey,
getting, uh-huh.
the guy that was here earlier, talking about Google Ads and stuff, is he still here? It was Zoom user. I don't know what his name was.
His name's Ray.
Ray,
Ray.
Ray,
Yeah.
are you still here?
left.
I'm here.
He just came to do a commercial and he left.
Ray, the little car things you were talking about. I saw a post today about those. Where did you get them?
No, you're talking about different Ray. I think he's gone.
Oh,
Yeah, he's
okay.
gone. That
Yeah.
was gone.
Was it the QR code or was it something else? Or what was
No,
it?
it was he mentioned that he's got these little things you get in.
Yeah,
Um,
that's
Oh,
the
those balls.
zero gravity thing, the one that flip you over. It looked like a
yeah.
car with two wheels, but then
Okay, yeah. I know.
it flipped you upside down. Yeah.
Those things cost like I looked into that. My
You
honest
have to
opinion,
have a great insurance for that one because kids get
Or
injured all the time. So,
no, but it's not even the insurance. When I called them, because I got a buddy of mine, he called his the Batman. He called his the Batman, and
mhm.
does it do well?
it's, I mean, he charges for like $600. I think it's basically about 200. Because when I called them, it was like 200. You can get maybe 250 per hour, and you can set it at a minimum to 2 to 3 hours. But the thing costs us like 21,000. Now you can
Oh,
get it
really?
on sale. Now you see someone trying to flip it, but even he said, well, it's 23,000. But if you pay cash, I can do it for 20. Getting something that costs that much and your return is no more than a big obstacle course, it just literally doesn't make sense to me unless you're using that as the main attraction. But that has to be at least to me like a main anchoring point. Like a Ferris wheel. It got to be a
Yeah,
thousand,
yeah.
twelve
Two
hundred.
hundred is way too low.
Yeah, per hour because you can get an obstacle course for
Yeah,
$600. So to me that it wasn't. Now if you're getting it, if you can get a real good price on it for maybe, but it's still not, to me it wasn't worth it because I think my buddy of mine, I think he paid maybe 12,000 for it, and because he's had this for a while, but it's still not a lot of high on return. But he does that he has the bigger event stuff because he has a game truck and he does like those type of events. But his average ticket is more, but he doesn't do as many events like that. So to me, it was too expensive and not enough on the return to for that for my
Yeah, it
blood.
is. It is. It is.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, you were right.
I think those are good if you have like a trackless train or like a mini roller coaster type thing.
Okay. Yeah. Well, yeah.
Okay,
Get back.
guys, now you were right. We're out of time.
You
Glad to
kicked
see you
out.
today, guys. Hope to see you next week. Have a great weekend, a great week. Have a lot of bookings, please. The peak season is starting. So I hope all you guys have a lot of bookings and a lot of money and a lot of pickups and everything. And see you next week. Thank you very much for joining and hope you had fun.
Thank you, everyone.
Right.
See you guys.
Thank you guys.
Hey guys,
Bye.
Bye.
thank you.